Hello and welcome to my new series where I will talk about an anime that I personally feel is not talked about or watched enough. I hope with this series I can shine light on an anime that perhaps goes under the radar. So, with that being said, let's talk about Gungrave. To give you a bit of background, Gungrave is actually based on a PS2 game by the same title. That was initially released in 2002 by Sega. Whilst the third person shooter had its story, the anime took it and vastly expanded it. As for the anime itself, it was produced by Madhouse in 2003. Madhouse is a household name in the anime industry, and during this period it was creating popular anime such as Monster, Beck and Paranoia Agent. So for a short summary of the story, Gungrave is actually split into two parts, but more on that later. We find ourselves in episode 1, with Beyond the Grave, who we are told to be Brandon Heat. This episode leaves us with a lot of questions. All we truly know at this point is Grave has awoken to take down a criminal syndicate known as Millennium, led by Harry McDowell. And from this episode, we know that Brandon and Harry belong to the same organisation, and in Harry's eyes, Brandon had betrayed him. And this was revealed that Harry believed that before this episode, Brandon was dead, as it was Harry that had killed Brandon. From this episode alone, you get a sense of it being some sci-fi monster shooter, perhaps in a similar style of vein to Madhouse's other production, Hellsing. Whilst this is kinda true, it is the next 13 episodes or so that will follow that will flip it on its head. The very next episode, in episode 2, it changes the story completely. It puts us back in the past with Brandon Heat and Harry McDowell. What makes this interesting is that it's essentially a mafia drama. It shows their rise from essentially street thugs to both of them going through the ranks of the mafia. I think the splits between parts of the series is the reason why it's a hidden gem. In essence, it is almost two separate series. For me, each were enjoyable in their own way, but the flashback mafia drama was a lot stronger. It's filled with character development and story, with many twists mixed in it. You see how the two main characters, Brandon and Harry, change as they take their route from being childhood friends to enemies. This part is filled with political complexity, sprinkled with betrayal and chaos. To compare the two main characters, I would look at Guts and Griffith from Berserk as reference. We see their ideals clash, and loyalty pushed to the limit. The characters grow closer and closer together, where it breaks, and their relationship turns into hatred. We already know, thanks to episode 1, how this story will pan out, and because of this, we are given almost an impending doom looming over these characters. To have this in the back of your head whilst watching these episodes is almost upsetting, as we see a bond between the characters and the development of the mafia. It is because of the mafia that really develops a sense of irony. The mafia implores the idea of loyalty, and it's a foundation for everyone who is a part of it, but it's an ultimate betrayal that inevitably emerges that makes it so ironic. It is so heavily character driven at parts that it keeps the viewer on the edge of their seat, which is surprising considering how I've stated we know the outcome since the first episode. We are given romance, drama, action, all to create this amazing blend. Now for the second half. On the outer surface, it is now Brandon, now beyond the grave, facing the monster of the week more or less till the climax. Aside from this, under the surface, he is also facing his past. It provides mental breakdowns as Brandon has not been awake or alive for the past 13 years. He is put into a situation where he has to face the actions of himself and Harry's past. It is ironic that the gunslinger monster's killing setting is a story from the PS2 game. To be honest, now I think about it, what shooter game has been truly successful in being adapted into an anime? Whilst it does retain characters from the past episodes, it is not produced in the same vein. It may be to some their favourite side of Gungrave, but the problem I have with it is the jump between genres. It really goes to a mafia drama to a monster killing show. Whatever way you look at it, I feel it does in ways harm the show, as it is hard to get your head around. You may think, why am I recommending this then? And honestly, both parts have their merits. It is a combination of the two so harshly that I find causes the issues. Regardless, for me, the past mafia side of Gungrave really is some of the best writing I've seen in anime. Whilst the anime was produced by Madhouse, who have produced some fantastic looking anime, it was produced in 2003. And I do not think the animation has aged too well, but as something that has came out in 2003, it retains some nice animation for its time, especially during some action scenes. As well as this, the scenery at times is great. As for the soundtrack, it is done very well. It creates an atmosphere for a similar vibe to other mafia shows or films. This is due to the abundance of string instruments used, especially with violin. It also takes heavy inspiration from jazz, swing and blues. Mostly the tracks feel sad, and really that reflects the anime. Gungrave is not a happy story. We are told from the beginning that this is going to be a tragedy and a tale for revenge that was created from betrayal. Anything that seems happy, we know as an audience, will not last long, as the characters will be consumed by greed and doom to come. Personally, I do not think there's enough mafia anime out there, and Gungrave seems to do it their best in terms of pure drama, and feels for at least the first half a much more realistic mafia drama. If you like gritty, dark anime, Gungrave is certainly for you. and if you're not, I'd still recommend it. The drama and characters work well together. If I had to use other series to describe it, I'd put Scarface and Godfather mixed with a Terminator, creating a unique blend that you'll never see again. There's not an anime series quite like Gungrave. And if you are looking for a new series to watch that isn't your standard seasonal anime, I would highly recommend Gungrave. I hope you like the start to this series of hidden anime gems. Please do like and subscribe, and comment down below what you think is an underrated or hidden anime. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.